Yeah, for sure. Just watching what Volk did to him, like that first fight, definitely gives me confidence. You know, I aspire to be someone like a champion like Volk, and yeah, I'm definitely want to get it back for him.
Mate,
for Aussies.
Absolutely.
I think just staying calm in there. They sort of underestimate how much that can confuse you when someone's so calm. And then I think I'll be on the feet. I believe we'll be spend a lot of this fight on the feet, and I'll be able to surprise him.
So I definitely can get a finish. All right, favorite team? Islam's great. Him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can do it.
Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Della Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo, aí tá.
Fueled by vengeance and laser-focused on glory, JDM steps into UFC 322 not just to fight, but to end Islam Makhachev's reign once and for all. Jack Della Maddalena fired a cold warning at Islam Makhachev, vowing this bout is payback for Volkanovski. He admired how Volkanovski handled that first fight, and now JDM says he'll mirror that hunger only with more ruthless intent. When the two meet at UFC 322, JDM isn't looking for a decision, he's coming to settle a score and dismantle Makhachev's legacy. Expect a ferocious, no-mercy performance as this one's personal, and he promises to make it count.
It's obviously, it's different, but it's also, my mindset's the same. I feel like I'm the underdog. I feel like I've got everything to prove. So the mindset's much the same. Yeah, I feel like he's the pound for pound number one, and I'm trying to sort of chase that. So I feel like I'm just on the chase as per usual.
Is there any part of you that's like the whole Volk Islam thing, like he's an idol of yours and you love watching him? It's like, geez, I'd just love to get that back for Australia and Volk.
Yeah, for sure. Just watching what Volk did to him, like that first fight, definitely gives me confidence. You know, I aspire to be someone like a champion like Volk, and yeah, I'm definitely want to get it back for him.
Mate,
for Aussies.
Absolutely.
Furthermore, Jack Della Maddalena made it clear that Islam Makhachev is underestimating him, and that will be a costly mistake. He believes Islam expects to dominate with takedowns and grappling, but JDM insists things won't go as planned. He's prepared to counter every move, bringing his sharpest A-game and striking precision to the cage. As he heads into fight night, JDM promises nothing less than to dethrone Islam Makhachev and end his legacy once and for all.
What's something that you think he's probably not going to be prepared for in you, where he's kind of underestimating you?
I think maybe the grappling. Maybe I think his best. He probably in his best mind would be thinking, take me down, hold me down, submit me. So I think I think the grappling, I'll be able to surprise him.
Yep. Just a strength in the grappling as well.
Yeah, I believe so. The right techniques for his sort of A game, I think will throw him off a bit.
Yeah.
Jack Della Maddalena promises that the techniques he's bringing into the octagon will completely confuse Islam Makhachev. He explained that he plans to start the fight composed and calculated, but once the momentum shifts, he'll prove his dominance. JDM says he's ready to go toe-to-toe with Islam on the feet and shock everyone watching, and he vows to dismantle every doubt, every underestimation, and show Makhachev exactly what he's been overlooking.
And do you find when you go into fights, people are surprised about, because like sometimes when Islam might go in a fight, they'll be surprised at, how good he is at wrestling or whatever. Do you find how, when you go into fights, people are surprised how good your striking is sometimes? Like they think they get, that they can stand with you, and then all of a sudden they're on the back. Yeah,
I think so. I think, just staying calm in there, they sort of underestimate how much that can confuse you when someone's so calm. And then, I think I'll be on the feet. I believe we'll be spend a lot of this fight on the feet, and I'll be able to surprise him.
Meanwhile, another fighter, Belal Muhammad, who has previously faced Jack Della Maddalena and trained with Islam Makhachev, broke down this upcoming clash. He believes that if Islam manages to get the fight to the ground, it's going to be a long night for Jack. Belal highlighted Islam's incredible control and dominance on the mat, calling his ground game next level. He also pointed out that Jack tends to make crucial mistakes on the ground, often exposing his back or neck, openings Islam can easily exploit. In Belal's view, Islam's wrestling and relentless pressure could make this fight far tougher for JDM than many expect.
Obviously, Islam versus Jack, for me, breaking down this fight stylistically, obviously trained with Islam, fought Jack. It's going to come down to if it hits the ground. If it hits the ground for Islam, I think his top game is going to be really good. He's very smart, very controlled, doesn't let you off the hook when you make a mistake. Jack makes mistakes on the ground. He uses it to scramble. He has good scrambling ability. He has moments where he's like lapses safety, right? He'll give up his back, he'll give up his neck, he'll give up arm triangle. And you can't do that with Islam. Islam's gonna see that and he's gonna exploit it. I think if Islam comes out wrestling right away and forcing that takedown right away, making that work, it's going to be a long night for Jack.
Belal went on to reflect his own experience fighting Jack Della Maddalena, noting that JDM's stand-up game is sharp and impressive. He admitted that Jack won't be easy to break, but warned that against Islam, positioning will be everything. According to Belal, JDM must avoid getting backed up against the fence because that's exactly where Islam thrives. Once Makhachev pins his opponent there, the takedown is almost guaranteed, and from that point on, things could get ugly fast.
Obviously, for myself, seeing him, being in there with him, he's very smart. He's good on the feet. He has good hands. He doesn't give up on himself. He always pushes through. So Jack's not going to be like a quitter, but he has to take the center. He has to be in the middle. He has to force the action and try not to get his back to the fence, because we've seen in the Poirier fight, Islam really wants to get you to the fence. Poirier did a good job of keeping the center, and he defended a couple of takedowns. Honestly, I just think that Islam's takedown offense is going to be more than Jack's takedown defense, and then when it goes to the ground, it's going to be a bad night. But if Jack can avoid some of those spots, there'll be moments for him if he can make it to the 4th, 5th round. We'll see how Islam.
Addressing JDM's recent comments, Belal highlighted the comparisons between Jack Della Maddalena and Alexander Volkanovski's styles. He pointed out that Volkanovski is shorter and far more explosive, while JDM relies on longer, more measured shots, something that could play right into Islam's advantage. Belal emphasized that for JDM to succeed, he needs to avoid those extended exchanges that give Islam openings for takedowns. Ultimately, Belal predicted that if the fight hits the ground, Islam's control and pressure will be too much, and it could send in a finish.
It's harder to control shorter guys. Jack is longer, so he's going to have a longer torso for Islam to control, a longer torso for him to get on top of. Volkanovski made those spots harder because he's very short, he's very hard to read. Even with the striking, he's like a little bit more faster with his combinations. Jack does longer combinations, but I think Volkanovski's more explosive. And like I said, it's always harder to fight shorter guys. And fighting in Australia was a very hard spot, I think, for Islam. So for me, with this one, I think I'm going to pick Islam in this fight to win it. And if it goes to the ground, I think it'll be a finish.
Charles Oliveira shook up the MMA world with his confident prediction, saying Islam Makhachev won't spend a moment striking with Jack Della Maddalena, but will take him down early and control him on the ground. The former UFC champion's comments instantly sparked debate, showing just how unpredictable this matchup really is. And coming from someone who's experienced Makhachev's grappling firsthand, Oliveira's warning hits differently. When he says wrestling will decide this fight, people listen. Oliveira didn't overcomplicate his take. Having already shared the octagon with Makhachev, he understands the kind of crushing pressure the Dagestani brings. In his view, Maddalena's striking won't be enough to shift the outcome because, like countless times before, this fight will come down to control, pressure, and non-stop takedowns. As far as Oliveira is concerned, Makhachev doesn't need to reinvent his game plan, he'll simply rely on the formula that's never failed him.
Quem que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é jogo muito complicado, porque ele é cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem na frente, ele vem te magoando, aos poucos. Então o que ele fez agora no contra o Bilal.
Oliveira gives credit to Maddalena's crisp boxing, fluid movement, and dangerous knockout power early on, but he's convinced it won't matter once Makhachev gets inside. In his eyes, the second Islam secures a grip, the tide turns immediately. Having lived that experience himself, Oliveira's confidence has fans wondering if Maddalena can truly stop the fight from becoming the kind of grind Makhachev thrives on.
Só que eu acho que o Isa vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né, agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Isa agarrar e botar pra baixo, é o
Still, not everyone agrees. Veteran contender Beneil Dariush isn't convinced that Makhachev's trademark dominance guarantees another victory. When asked who he thinks walks out of Madison Square Garden with the belt, Dariush sided with Jack Della Maddalena. While he praised Islam's all-around skill, he highlighted size as was the key factor, believing JDM's natural welterweight frame and relentless pace could swing the momentum in the later rounds.
I'm gonna lean now towards JDM.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio-wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is all feel. This is one of the few fights where I can't really give you a clear answer. So I just feel like JDM.
Dariush pointed out that Jack's cardio is top tier. He thrives when the fight becomes a fast, gritty battle. While he respected Makhachev's technical mastery and dominant grappling, he admitted there's an edge to JDM that makes an upset seem very real. It was a bold prediction, one that quickly split opinions, and Dariush wasn't the only one to share that belief.
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class no problem. He could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
It's not only Dariush voicing strong opinions, Nurmagomedov has doubled down as well. He's confident Islam will dominate yet again, insisting his teammate is in his prime condition, sharper than ever, and ready for anything Maddalena brings. In Umar's eyes, Makhachev's fighting IQ and adaptability make him the undeniable favorite to retain the title.
Islam in amazing shape, and this guy, very smart fighter, and I'm his fan, and he don't have just one plan for fight, and he have plan A, B, C, and like all alphabet, D, E, A, everything, like if something not he couldn't do, he gonna try other one not good, he have next plan, and he's amazing fighter, and he's amazing friend, brother, and I think he will take this belt. I think he deserves.
Nurmagomedov also shed light on Islam Makhachev's remarkable physical transformation. He explained that the move up to welterweight and the effort to add real size wasn't easy at first, but the results speak for themselves now. Umar believes Islam has evolved into a stronger, faster, and more explosive version of himself, and at this stage, Makhachev isn't just ready to fight, he's been built for it.
He looks very good now. Do you think he's very built well for welterweight?
Yes, he become a bigger, now we have more power, more than ever, and I think he's ready.
Adding to the conversation, Luke Rockhold shared his take on the matchup. He admitted that Jack Della Maddalena can't compete with Islam Makhachev's elite wrestling, but still views him as a legitimate threat. In Rockhold's opinion, even with the clear grappling disadvantage, Jack's durability and striking power could still pose real problems for Makhachev.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
It's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. He's fun to watch. So that's going to be a great fight. He's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM. He's kind of he's secondary on that, but you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, he's definitely grown. We'll see how he carries the weight.
Merab Dvalishvili also chimed in with his perspective, admitting this won't be an easy night for Islam Makhachev. Even so, he's confident the Dagestani champion will step up like he always does. Merab called it a tough but winnable fight, stressing that Makhachev's wrestling precision and perfect timing make him one of the hardest puzzles to solve inside the octagon.
You mentioned Islam. He's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling, and he's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down and he mauls people down.
He also noted that Islam would probably analyze Jack's last fight with Belal Muhammad and make all the right adjustments. Still, the threat is very real. Jack's explosive punching, sharp movement, and calmness under fire make him a genuine danger. And that's exactly why this matchup has experts split down the middle.
We all see the JDM Belal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and maybe Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible, it's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second belt.
Dan Hardy, who's analyzed both fighters in depth, brought a more technical angle to the discussion. A longtime fan of JDM's striking, Hardy believes the key factor this time is Makhachev's move up to welterweight. In his eyes, Islam is stepping into the division at the perfect moment, no more brutal weight cuts, and now able to display his full physical potential. Hardy predicts this will be the strongest and most dangerous version of Makhachev we have seen yet.
Been high on JDM for a long time. You know, I remember doing interviews back when Ngannou was crossing over to boxing, and people were talking about who's got the best hands in MMA, and I was saying JDM at the time. I mean, his boxing's always impressed me. But at this point, I feel like Islam's moving up a weight class at the right time. You know, there are a lot of fighters that stay in a weight class for too long, and they seem to kind of stifle their physical growth. I don't think Islam can stay healthy and stay in that lightweight division for any longer, and I think right now he's allowed himself to move into a division where his body's just going to grow into it. He's going to be incredibly powerful.
Hardy envisions the bout beginning as a tightly contested striking battle, with Islam using his kicks and steady pressure to slowly gain control. As the fight wears on, he expects Makhachev's grappling to become the deciding factor, possibly leading to a late submission finish. In Hardy's opinion, Islam's skill set is just too refined, too methodical, and too relentless for most fighters to break through.
You know, I've been having the similar kind of conversation in my head with Crawford coming up against Canelo as well, you know what I mean? Like, what's Crawford going to look like going up a weight? And I think his body's ready to do it, same as Islam. And I just think Islam's all-round game is so problematic for any single fighter. I see him taking it, and I can see him probably a 50-50 striking exchange, Makhachev winning with a kicking advantage, but then he's grappling and his wrestling taking over, probably winning by sub in the championship rounds.
Still, the debate rages on. Robert Whittaker, no stranger to top-tier competition, believes Jack Della Maddalena brings an unteachable X-factor to the cage. He points to Jack's grit, endurance, and relentless pace as elements that could change everything. While Whittaker expects Islam to rely heavily on his kicks and wrestling, he warns that even the smallest slip could prove costly. Despite Makhachev's clear advantage on the mat, Whittaker highlights JDM's crisp counters and fast-paced striking as serious weapons in those wild, unpredictable moments.
I'm going to go Jack. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hand. I don't think Islam is going to be as like gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back. Jack has nothing to lose. And I think Islam's got everything to lose. He's the hottest prospect right now in MMA.
Sean Brady brought a unique perspective, openly admitting he's pulling for Islam, largely because he hopes to face him in the future. Still, when breaking it down analytically, Brady's pick is Jack Della Maddalena. He acknowledges Makhachev's dominance, but believes JDM's confidence, composure, and well-rounded skill set makes him a real problem. For Brady, this is all the makings of a classic dangerous underdog story, a fighter with nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Selfishly, for me, I would want Islam to win because I want to fight Islam as for a legacy thing, and I think I can beat Islam. I think I can beat anybody in the world. And I want to grapple. I want my grappling to go against his grappling and see who's better. You know, I really would love for that to play out. But if I had to pick, and I know Jack would be the underdog, I would pick Jack.
Even Daniel Cormier, typically one to back his Dagestani teammates, gave a surprisingly balanced take. He acknowledged Islam's improved size and power as major assets, but warned that Jack's durability and sharp defense could make this fight far more competitive than many anticipate.
JDM don't wrestle, but he was defending well, and he puts damage on you.
Off rip.
Starts putting damage on you. And he can box.
So how do you see that fight with him and Islam? Does he have the ability to beat a guy like Islam?
He'll get takedown attempts coming at him very early. This time. The last fight, he didn't have to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle. I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's going to feel, because it's not going to be double legs and single legs with Islam. It's going to be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things things that he don't recognize as freely.
But she didn't answer the question.
The problem is, like, I can only give you that because I can't truly make a prediction. The job doesn't allow it.
Meanwhile, Michael Bisping didn't mince words, admitting he's shocked by how strongly the odds tilt toward Islam. He argued that calling Makhachev a heavy favorite downplays JDM's momentum and consistency. Bisping pointed to Jack's 18-fight win streak and his dominant performance against Belal Muhammad as proof that the Australian has quickly evolved into a legitimate world-class contender.
It's an interesting fight because the crazy thing is that Islam Makhachev is quite a sizable favorite according to DraftKings, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure I saw that online earlier this morning. And I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Jack Della Maddalena. The man's on an 18-fight winning streak. He just beat Belal Muhammad. He defended all the takedowns there. He's beaten grapplers before in the past. But Belal Muhammad was a perfect warm-up fight for Islam Makhachev.
Colby Covington also weighed in with a balanced take on the matchup. He admitted that Islam might be undersized stepping up from lightweight, but believes his complete skill set easily compensates for it. Though he recognized JDM's size and power as potential factors, Covington still leaned toward Makhachev, crediting his unmatched control, composure, and fight IQ. In Colby's eyes, it's Islam's discipline and tactical brilliance that truly set him apart from everyone else.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Not everyone is writing JDM off. Alexander Volkanovski, who's experienced Makhachev's strength up close, is backing his fellow Australian. He believes Jack's striking, forward pressure, and much improved takedown defense have taken a huge leap since the Belal Muhammad fight. And to Volkanovski, that bout was the turning point, the moment JDM became a more complete, composed fighter who now knows exactly how to handle world-class grapplers.
I mean, you can't doubt him. Look, he's a welterweight, and you've got Belal, who's a grappler, wrestler. Look how he handled that. And then he's a beast on the feet. And then he's early, and I guarantee you from that fight, his confidence in grappling and takedown defense has just gone to a whole nother level.
Volkanovski singled out Jack's boxing as outstanding and added that if Islam doesn't adapt to the pace and power, a stoppage could very well be on the horizon.
So he's going to be an absolute nightmare. So it'll be good. I'm hoping to get some training with him for this one as well. But we'll tee something up for sure. But I mean, JDM, mate, he's a weapon. So I mean, I know that Islam's not taking this one lightly. So and he shouldn't.
Do you believe he might be able to stop Islam going up to this weight class?
Stop him. Yeah, I mean, look, JDM's boxing and pressure that he can do, incredible. So I definitely can get a finish.
All right, favorite team?
Islam's great. Him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can do it.
Jack Della Maddalena's head coach also weighed in, making sure his fighter's confidence was unmistakable. He stressed that Jack is more than ready for the challenge and isn't intimidated by Makhachev's reputation. According to the coach, the emphasis has been on meticulous preparation, countless drills, sharpened takedown defense, and refining angles to let Jack's striking shine freely.
Big respect coming from Islam's team going into this one, and Khabib even acknowledged that he started following JDM a while back, knowing that potentially he'd be fighting Islam.
They've got to this level because they know the sport and they know the game, and Islam and his team have the utmost respect for Jack, as we do for them. Islam is a phenomenal fighter. He's pound for pound #1 in the world.
The coach emphasized that Maddalena's mindset and precise striking could prove decisive, particularly in tight exchanges. He highlighted specific moments where Makhachev's forward pressure might leave openings, and his confidence has rekindled hope among JDM fans that this fight could be much closer than anticipated. In the coach's eyes, Jack possesses the timing and skill to land a clean, fight-changing shot, even against Makhachev's dominant grappler.
Made light work of just about everybody that's ever gone before him. The respect is mutual, and Jack's always asked me for the toughest fights he can possibly have. Jack does better the higher up of the standard is. He raises his game to the level that he's fighting against, and I really believe that everyone's going to see the best version of Jack.
Former UFC fighter and veteran coach Dean Thomas believes Jack's true edge comes from his work with jiu-jitsu specialist Craig Jones. Jones, who was pivotal in Volkanovski's near win over Makhachev, also played a major role in Jack's preparation for Belal Muhammad. Thomas expects that collaboration to pay dividends again, helping Jack keep the fight upright. He predicts Maddalena may lose a few early rounds, but over time, he'll start stuffing takedowns. sapped Islam's energy and turned the bout into a striking battle that favors the Australian.
Jones is an amazing jiu-jitsu player, and he's a really smart guy.
Yeah.
And he's been able to figure out things and just be more forward thinking. And he said, I was listening to something that he said recently about how everybody does the same thing. And this is something I've been saying for years. Like, we've learned in these last couple of years, we've gotten so far away from jiu-jitsu that we've learned how to do jiu-jitsu from wrestlers. And it hasn't been working out because it just turns into kind of like a wrestling match. But when Craig Jones came in and started working with them Australian guys, they started doing things a little bit differently. And him working with Jack Della Maddalena, you know, he's escaping different from the traditional way that everybody else has been doing it.
So that is all for today, and here we are. UFC 322 is shaping up to be an epic clash, and JDM versus Islam Makhachev promises fireworks inside the octagon. Who do you think will come out on top? Will JDM claim revenge, or will Islam's dominance continue? Drop your predictions in the comments, and hit like if you're hyped for the fight. And don't forget to share and subscribe to Boxism for all the latest MMA updates.